Life doesn't need to be a struggle. I'll be with you in a moment, officer. Let me just finish my sandwich.
Have you no shame? Whining about your back every time you...
René, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup. Please, let...
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration. You're old. I can see that. We're both old. Now stop grabbing your ass like it's a girl. See? Your munching and complaining have ruined my...
Could the objective of the game be to throw the metal?
Ah, mon Dieu. The pain in my back is unbearable.
I hope you pass out from it. You goddamn jellyfish. Men like you are the...
Trying to throw something as close to a predetermined point as possible. Measuring. This must be the age-old game of petanque. This felt
Life? I'll be with...
Have you no shame?
René,
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration. You're old. I can see that. We're both old. Now stop grabbing your ass like it's a girl.
you are immediately surprised by the ball's lack of weight. No matter, you'll make it work. The cold metal ball is surprisingly smooth against your neck. It has a pattern on it. Already, your muscles are adjusting to the weight. The nervous system calibrated. A chilly breeze ruffles your hair as you stand there, feet firmly planted. All sounds, smells, even an embodiment of pure motion. Some would still say you're a cop, but I guess we're beyond that now.
Merde! Bordel de merde!
A whorehouse of shit? It wasn't whorehouse of shit. The shot was at least 23 meters. Probably 20.
What the hell is your problem? I don't care if you are a cop. You do not just ruin someone's game. It's so goddamn disrespectful. You vandalized our game, son! We can't play pétanque with 5 pool! No! No, you don't! Our
Take it easy, René. This is just a misunderstanding, isn't...
Of course there's harm done, you orange slug! You are as a goddamn bull! Good! Mistakes are forgiven, when men at least try to right their wrongs.
Yes. Why did you come here? You never know. He might know something. This is a good vantage point.
Unfortunately, I don't. Unlike most of the locals, I have no qualms about assisting law enforcement. But this affair has passed me by completely. In Martinez, the union is the law. Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen. On the contrary, I admire the effort to bring order to our streets.
He doesn't know about the crime. Your time is better spent discussing politics.
I'm confident they are indispensable in regard to all the paperwork and other administrative duties. But you must agree that nature, in her infinite wisdom, has made men more fit to perform certain, more challenging tasks. Don't you, officer? Really, officer. Match an average woman against an average man in a dark alley and see who comes out on top. Gender equality is a very noble, very modern idea. But in real life, primal roles prevail. But I do not wish to discuss this matter. Yes. The terrain here provides an interesting variety to a familiar game. No. It was left by heavy artillery fire. Why what? Because that's what happens when communards hijack your country, execute your supreme leadership, and turn your capital into a slaughterhouse. You use heavy ordnance to clean up your home. Commies, communists, socialists, anarchists, call them what you like. They just chose the name to feel special. Senseless sentimentality. Sadly, no. It was the foreigners who brought them to their knees. We fought valiantly. Too valiantly. Should have fought dirty, like they did with their suicide sex cult propaganda and mad anarchist women strapped to shrapnel bombs. We didn't though. And we lacked caliber. God bless him, but the suzerain's cannons simply weren't big enough.
It was probably a bit more complicated than that.
Because this place is a damn beachhead. Had to soften the commies up. Yes. The military coordinated amphibious landing to take back Martinez was used as one of the 3 footholds in Revachol during Operation Deathblow in 08. The other 2 are off in Stella Maris and the Delta. This here is Blood Ground, where coalition boots first made landfall and cleaned those rabid dogs out. Most likely, we're playing pétanque on their mangled corpses.
Blood ground. You got old René going there. Like he isn't hungry enough already.
Don't get me wrong, officer. I hate those foreign dogs, but the enemy of my enemy and all that. They're the lesser evil. Damn right, son. They lit the fire of hell on the city before the rest of the city got cleaned up, but Martinez they keep as a monument. And now the Union Socialists are practically running the place.
Well, it's your own damn fault. You, we, the coalition, Revachol, whoever you want to blame, never finished the job. Officially, the party never surrendered. Of course they still all in.
You don't even begin to truly understand the players of the table, let alone the specific circumstances around.
Thinking men have opinions on these things. Present one.
I'm just so damn sorry it had to be the coalition. After 8 years of fighting those hyenas, boiling cats for food and drinking piss in the... I would have preferred if the Right Honorable King Guillaume returned through Revachol. Or even if that damn clan Frisel had risen from the grave and led us. Instead, all that is just, holy, and beautiful in the world was wiped away, and now it's neon signs with truth. This is just what the commies wanted. This was their plan all along. This is what they wanted to replace the damn Frissel. He was a king we couldn't protect. The Carabineers failed him, and the crown. He died in the hands of the...
He slouches as he says that. It makes him smaller, admitting they left the king to the mob.
A true king in both blood and mind led Revachol before Frissel. He would have been better, but the damn commies drove him into exile.
Some manner of self-deceit is present in his thinking. Sounds like this Guy.
The suzerain is the king! Has everyone forgotten already? They've forgotten already. It's no use talking to you. You were still in Daddy's balls when it happened. When we took our last stand against the filth and rode the cavalry straight into gunfire.
The worn and beaten wooden plank.
We can sit on benches.
You can revisit the bench.
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized. The metal feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks unhygienic. A thick layer of graffito covers the lenses. You spell out the word, that's Kuno, on the lens. Under the graffito, a sea of blues and greys appear. Behind the water lies a coast, studded with concrete. You know this to be the star of Pericanasis, or the Cairo. The central symbol of the Pericanassian church, a star, a great moral height to be strived towards. The church looks old and weather-worn. Around the large wooden building you see chunks of sea ice gathered on the beach, and a small tent set up on the ice. Whoa! What have a bridge with loose nails and rot-infested wood that creaks in the wind? A construction code violation if there ever was one.
True. They never cleaned up the war damage. The rest of Revachol, the bridge is fine enough. Locals use it all the time, after all. It's nothing to worry about.
A simple little cadence. He seems to be making it up as he goes.
From another planet. Hey there. It's the jam, my man. It's a traffic jam for the ages. Harbor gates up the street are shut tight. No explanation given. Workers on strike. Meanwhile, we're all stuck here in long-haul limbo for days upon days upon days. Upon days. Yeah, exactly.
It's official. He too agrees. This is the antechamber of the afterlife.
Feels like forever. Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I ever knew. Just me and the metal and the tires, the oil and the fumes of mazout. Yeah, imagine. It's been a whole week. So tell me, what do you need? Huh? Oh. No, I ain't got any money. The bosses, man. Yeah, it sure ain't good for me. Or you. I'd spare a coin or two for a city cop down in his luck. If I had, say, 4 myself. He ain't one of us drivers. I know that. All accounted for. Otherwise, I haven't really...
It's easy to see he's telling the truth. He's kept his nose out of the dark stuff.
Analyzing the fundamental structural and psychological conditions of being...
Ask for his conclusion.
Nothing. I'm just messing with you, man. Don't mind my idle verbosity. He ain't one of us...
It's easy to see he's telling the truth.
Analyzing the fun...
Ask for his
A sense of surprise there ain't more bodies hanging from more trees. Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal
Relax. He's merely joking.
Ha! No, I'm joking, my man. Found runs a nice, clean business. This haul of cargo is mostly sporting goods. They usually get shipped to Grad and the Occident. Though we've been making headway in the Il-Moran market lately. Not unless they've illegalized sports equipment while I was on the road. This rockin' beauty. Sure is. Like a rash you can't get rid of. You interested in...
A motor lorry, also called a camion, on Caillou and neighboring islands. This one looks roughed up enough to be some sort of found...
Good eye, my man. Yup, she's an old one, but reliable. Me and her spent a long time together. We're pals and all, but I can't just freely hand out the merchandise. The bosses won't be happy.
The man taps his fingers rhythmically.
It's like, whatever's going on over at the docks. Workers got a blockade set up, making demands. No, some pretty wild stuff, I hear. Like a giant new power crane in half the company? I forget what. I've heard talk there's a company rep in town, too. Like, a strike...
Ah, yes, from the Wild Pines. We'll meet her soon enough, I'm sure.
They want to keep that money flowing in, my man. Ka-ching.
He doesn't blame them, but he's not on their side. That's for sure.
Anything else? Yeah, this ain't really my area of expertise. I just do my job. Us lorry drivers. Camionneurs. You still hang around here waiting for this mess to end. Most have scurried off somewhere. Not my thing. Chasing transient pleasures is a drag these days. I prefer the examined life now.
He tries his best to look nonchalant, but there's a rigidity in him, as if trying to conceal something warm and deep beneath a cool exterior.
Don't be a stranger.
An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward the sea. It looks as if it's been A silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, "I am Philip III, the Squanderer, the greatest of the Philippian kings of Revachol, son of Philip II, even by the standards of the Philippian kings. Well, he blew through the whole national treasury, starting the decline of one of his own maladministration foreshadowed the fall of the monarchy. During the anti-centennial revolution, an end to his family line. Stories have it that he had his bedroom converted into a treasure chamber, where he stored unfathomable wealth. Krugerrands, bars of gold, ornate weaponry, armor, and various chalices. He called it the Sol Auron. It was obscene. There were whispers he slept on a huge pile of gold-dipped feathers, like some obese dragon, instead of a bed, like a normal person. But wait, you haven't even heard about his fabled coat. You see, old Philippe wasn't just good at squandering the national treasury on gold and ceremonial weaponry, he was also a prodigious snorter of nose candy. That's what the revolutionaries said 150 years later, right before they emptied out the royal mausoleum and dumped His Majesty's mortal remains in the Interlindian Bay. Cocaine. His Majesty's courtiers said it helped him connect with the beneath the cold waters of the Interlindian Bay. Thrown there by the original was blown apart by communards, then further damaged during the landing of the Most historians think the coalition's hasty landing may have ultimately. Some years ago, a group of liberal, artistically inclined individuals, designers mostly, thought the statue is supposed to capture the moment it was blown apart, like an instant frozen in time, a rare butterfly trapped in amber, floating on a sea of. People in Martinaise tend to disagree, as do many prominent art critics and thought leaders. With more, those critics might have it wrong though. There's more to it than just ironism. But you can't say what. Philip III, the squanderer, however, with his bronze face up in the air, doesn't seem concerned. Not that he ever did in life either. Small, wrinkled woman does not greet you. She nods along. The photo, an ambrotype. It's the warmth of a winter night's fire. Maybe she could give you comfort and shelter, some cigarettes and food money. Maybe she's your... No response. Wherever this woman is, your words, nothing. Her smile just keeps widening.
Wait. She's just a distracted old woman. Better to leave her alone. Why? I just told you why.
The woman still had. A Stars Ryko, one of the finest Zhimsk-made motor carriages ever. Not many people outside of Grad, and Revachol West too.
A Stas Ryko KK2. That's a classic model. Never thought I'd see another one repainted after what happened last time.
No, only that the motor carriage is typically baby blue, the colors of Sigismund the Great, an ancient Zhimsk ruler. His banners were famously zephyr and white, the colors of the Stars Ryko.
That's, well, yes, exactly it, more or less. Except it was a crowd of them. They said it was an honor killing, Hussar style. The Zhimsk community protested the trial.
Correction, 4,395, the fourth largest public protest of a criminal trial in Revachol.
Is that so, officer? I'll take you at your word. People we are paid to protect. Let's leave it at that. 4 years for murder in Reunion. The perps were remorseful. Their sorry knocked 8 years off the...
The prisons in the greater Revachol Industrial Harbor are already full. Prisoners are expensive to maintain. The longer the sentence...
Could it be another Stajrajko murder? Honestly, that just doesn't seem like the type of vehicle our dead guy would drive. So my initial guess is the two are not related. Yes, detective? You sure you're not Jimsk?
Yes, you're sure you're not. Or, if you are... A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. This big, heavy... The windows are clear. They've been recently washed. You can see a lorry... The driver has adorned his space with a substantial collection of peculiar paraphernalia. Proclamate the back end of the cabin as a small perch to sleep. A book with ragged edges catches your notice. The front...
Racist nationalist paraphernalia. Not unusual in this part of town. This is likely, yes. This guy's proud of who he is.
Advanced race theory. Everything is calm in the eye of the race storm. Your mind is lucid and bright. The mind-bending phylogenetics appear more distant and, to be fair, a little ridiculous. The great race mystery has cleared up.
Yes? What do you want to know? What's there to say? It's just stupid. The cop kind. Our precincts can't decide if Martinez is part of Jamrock or the Industrial Harbor. Yours or mine, as if we somehow own parts of the city. Typical street gang mentality. Well, sort of. It's less a matter of who gets to police Martinez than who has to. I think the dispatch desk just told both our stations about the hanging. There was quite the brouhaha at the 57th, I can tell you that. Time to settle it, they said. Cop off. But I assure you, I am not their finest.
So he volunteered to represent the 57th. Somewhere in your mind hangs a dark green blackboard. There are 2 columns. One says, cases solved. The other, confirmed kills. The rows are endless. Jean Vicmer, Judith Minot, a special... Your brothers have left you.
Well, technically. The official record keeper has been known to...
A common accounting gimmick used to inflate precinct stats.
I'm good enough for this case. I'm not here to compete. I came because I had to. Yes, I'm an unrepentant spoilsport. Martinez? Nothing. It's just a puddle at the end of some drain pipe. No one cares about this place. They care about sports. Most of our colleagues don't even...
It's all part of the master plan, you see.
Okay. Style me.
It's impossible to tell whether he's serious or joking.
No, I don't. I used to. Plainclothes did. Was there anything else you wanted to ask about the competition? If not, we should move. Yes, it's a wholly pointless matter. Forget I ever mentioned it.
Look at you. It's because you're a failure. They sent you to slight Precinct 57. Just think about it for a second. You're a raging alcoholic. who showed up 3 days late wearing piss-stained disco garb. You weren't sent here to win.
I've considered it. It would be immensely ugly of them, not to mention unprofessional. But I also think it's somewhat I checked the records. This jurisdiction dispute, who polices Martinez, reaches back to the 30s. It's as old as my station. And all this time we can't decide. I am the finest of nothing. Safe? No. But you're old. You've made it this far. Something has brought you through. So no, I don't think they sent you as a joke. And even if they did, they are in for a surprise.
The unpromising race pupil returns. And look, babe. When confronted with the harsh truth of his demise, the melancholic academician starts fiddling.
That's disgusting, Jean.
It is. Beneath the veneer of academic jargon, the liberal theorist is a bit nihilistic sex maniac. I take pity on your urges. You clearly want to enter the harbor bad, like a little boy who wants to go on the potty. I can press the button for you. It will open very well. You may enter the door once.
Finally. Let's go.
Hola, wandering man. How can I help you?
Promising race pupil return. An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. And the machine swallows your coin and seems to be waiting for your next move. Your fingers run over the dial pad. 00, calling. Still calling. Then...
Video Revachol, 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lamy. How may I help you? Video Revachol is a 24-hour video rental. We rent 8 and 10mm film for home use. This is Lamy. Sir, I don't know. It's a video rental. No. Maybe you called to extend your rental period? Do you need to extend your rental period? If you need any further assistance, you can visit us on the corner of Voyager and Main. I can't help you over the phone. Are we done?
The call is terminated by the other...
It's unfortunate for the Union to just leave their paperwork lying around.
Let's see what's inside, he thinks. The drawer opens smoothly. In hundreds of documents containing logistical data. 2 kinds of... and the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol. Couron. It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You try to focus, but the lines are... Look how blurry all the lines on these papers are. How unwieldy your own will... Hermeneutics was almost within your grasp, but now only vague letters float before your eyes. Less meaningful, but aesthetic. You're a police officer, not a spiritual healer. You can focus the normal way by turning your...
Is that what you're doing with those folders over there? Right. This is probably not relevant to our case. After all, we're not investigating an accounting mystery.
Whatever's hidden here is hidden well. Concentration isn't enough. Only a trained accountant with a background in logistics would be able to really make... It appears to be a to-do list written, remember Leo, Everart's shoes, special whirling borscht, water Everart's plants. Sweep off all items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself...
Everard Clare, probably. The head of the Debarders Union. One of his aides must have left...
The special borscht seems a bit odd in the list. Remember, Leo, all items on the drawer... tarpaulin cloak is still hanging on the railing. The white as your fingers touch the tarpaulin, it almost feels like the cloak wants. I will shield you from the elements and empty wine bottles and cigarette butts on the ground. Someone, they went through 6 bottles of potent Pilsner, 3 bottles.
Well, yes, I think we can say with relative confidence that it was you. Yes, this scene isn't exactly...
This is the night watchman's booth. Listen, it's okay to take a few minutes to yourself. Sit down and have a breather.
If you must. But please hurry. We are
Nothing incriminating catches your eye. The cabinets are clean and they're It's a black and white photo of a young couple out in a street fair. The man...
Why did you take that picture of René? You're really interested in that old soldier. Not sure I understand your fascination, but sure, as long as it doesn't take up a whole...
Control panel with several knobs. 2 buttons marked Marsh and Marsh. On. Arrête. Off. With a loud grind, the crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air. With a surprisingly, the harbor sleeps as the strike rages in the distance. The crane moving this container, of course.
I can't see how that was worth the wreckers, except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit.
The crane does not return to its... Before you stands a cargo container.
You do? Because there are a million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one? It's a cargo container, detective. Just like all the other. We're not here to interact with containers.
No reply. You attempt to turn and to your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement.
We should think about calling it a day, maybe. The nights are still miserably cold this time of year. We should take care of that, then. Let's talk to him anyway. An officer of the RCM shouldn't be sleeping in the street. We'll figure...
Container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, put the logos on.
The lyrics to this Container song are being made up as he goes along. The accent is so thick, it's impossible not to notice he's Ubi, from the vanishing peninsula of Ubisund on Muindi.
Container, used to be Wild Pines. Container, now belongs to Everard. Everard, he looks after everyone. Huh? Well, hey there, I see you are not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you? I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and folks gotta eat. Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister. Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes, I am. So it's easier for the crane operators to spot them.
The containers in the yard are green in wild. It's like some red infection was spreading outwards from the container yard's core.
Yes, they are hiding it from the inside. All the red...
No, not really. Mr. Everett doesn't tell me all the big things. Says I go and tell them to everyone. Oh, no trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all. Oh, yes. Born and raised in Arish, mister. Mum had to leave my dad after he got a bit violent. Took us here to the new world. I was about 10. People say us Ubis are up to all sorts of trouble with sheep and other animals and whatnot. I just want you to know there was never any of that where I come from.
Thank you for clarifying that, sir.
Oh, most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping the scabs from coming in. We're on a strike. The whole union is. You don't have to work when you're on strike. Ha!
So no one is working?
Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Everard is in his office, but Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Everard sent them on a nice vacation. For a week or so. Oh, I'm not really supposed to talk about that. That's him and his boys stirred up something in town. Probably drank too much and got into a fight or something. I heard Mr. Everett telling them to take some time off. I guess the boys got a bit too rowdy and had to let out some steam. I don't really know the details.
Easy, Leo. Let's keep this under hard ease.
Look at him. It's not going to be anything useful anyway. Don't fight it. Better to go with the flow. Too late. Leo's mouth is still moving and the words are spewing forth. Words, word. Now he's talking about some drunk sawmill owner who... No, he already switched to a prized fishing rod. He apparently...
Yes, yes. Everybody needs a job, and this is mine. I'm Leonard, by the way. Leonard, I'm like Mr. Everett's right-hand man when Mr. Edgar is out of town. And Mr. Edgar... Actually, Miss Beaufort is the right-hand man, but she's a lady.
Who is this, Miss Beaufort?
A real pretty lady with a skin like those Douai Sucre candy bars my missus likes so much. Them are real nice to suckle on once the dinner is done and me and the missus sit down beside the radio. But I can't listen to the radio all the time. There's so much to do around here and I'm always busy keeping things running here. Yes I am, yes I am. Oh, Lizzie, she is a real sharp tool. Mr. Everett put her through some fancy school and everything, east of the river.
He respects that word.
But she's a real nice girl. Grew up in this here neighborhood. Knows everybody and gets a... If me missus and me was to have a child, I'd be real happy if she turned out like her. Dr. Lemaitre said so. And she knows about such things. Been a doctor for almost 50 years, she...
So Everett trained a lawyer named Miss Beaufort. Interesting.
Yes, this place really seems to run like clockwork. Keep it...
Well, thanks a lot. Coming from you, it means a lot, really. Sometimes I feel some of the guys don't really get how much I bust my ass for them here. But you guys are alright. Oh, yes, yes. I leave all kinds of notes for myself. That old head of mine ain't so good at keeping things in no more. I almost forgot about... Oh, yes. I've been taking special whirling borscht to the men every... It's very, very good. Makes a man feel so warm and happy. I feel like I could take on Mr. Renadan's boar dogs every time the lunch is done. Yes, yes. I'm taking it to them. The borscht keeps them happy and in fighting spirits. Makes you all warm and... Oh, the whirling's cook. He makes it. Them is always talking with Mr. Manana in that weird language and laughing together. He doesn't speak well. Oh, sure, mister. Sure. You do that. Yes, sir.
He didn't actually understand what you meant. And now he's just nodding along.
Oh, that one. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of containers here have...
Told you.
Oh, you want Mr. Everett then? He's an awfully nice fellow, he is. Him and his brother are both nice fellows. They've lived their entire lives in this... Guys like Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar, his brother, are real good guys. Made Martinez what it is today. Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar and I went to the same school we did when we were boys. Oh, Mr. Everett is usually in his office, of course. But he already left for the day. He always leaves around 10 p.m. Bye-bye now.
A large table with two huge vacuum-insulated thermal coffee dispensers. You snatch out the red plastic card. It features a black contour of a crane lifting a container. The name, Etienne Hogarth.
Hello again, officer. I'm a Nighthawk.
Odd. There's a little meanness in that smile. You see a heavy steel door.
Can I help you? Yes, have you got it? Does that arrangement include you paying me what we already agreed you owe me? Game? Everything is just a game to you, isn't it? Good luck trying to use it.
Draconian measures.
All the locks have an electronic component. They have to be unlocked down here with a master key before your guest. Not until you bring me the money.
Okay. I might have something in my motor carriage we can use when you're done here.
I really didn't want to resort to this. The man.
Oh, Lieutenant, we're done here.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio.
I have something here we could sell. Look in the back, in the suspect transport enclosure.
Transport enclosure? Regular people just call it the cage. The cage at the back of the motor carriage looks rather uncomfortable. 4 shiny hubcaps are stacked against the seat. Their silver edges sparkle in the dark.
I confiscated these 4 a little while back. We can take them to the pawn shop down by the Martinez. They are spinner hubcaps, frivolous things you put on your wheels. When the wheels come to a stop, the caps keep on spinning. There's no real use for them, it's just for vanity. A couple of weeks ago, I stopped a young man for going slower than the speed of traffic. Turns out he was some coalition official's son and high. I took them and arrested him for driving under the influence. I don't know, is it? I was going to take them into evidence, but they weren't necessary for conviction. He never asked for them back. No, that would be silly. I don't know why I kept them. It doesn't matter. I couldn't put them on this MC anyway. A cop with spinners. That would be outrageous.
He flashes a smile, barely visible in the dark.
As I said, they're useless anyway. I should have remembered.
But thank you.
Yes, there's one 100 meters south of here. I think it's called Roy's Nest or something.
Items that can be pawned at Bird's Nest Roy's appear in your inventory under the Items tab. You can pawn these items when talk.
The lieutenant nods as you take the spinners. A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. Loose wires. This panel usually closes the water lock, turning it into a bridge that lets you cross the canal. But you pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. A cold gust of wind. A spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the water lock to get a... Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored? Typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps. The light pole has been carefully cut, and the wiring has been... This would make quite a statement in your living room. You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Try to find something pretty and cool here. Then use it to win her back.
It's not often that I see officers from the RCM, and what can I do for you?
His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light across the walls of the shop.
Oh no, not at all. I guess I haven't had...
Who are your customers usually?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals, travelers. As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from. It keeps me entertained.
Yes, we'd like to sell these hubcaps.
Roy takes the hubcaps from the lieutenant and inspects them. The spinners appear iridescent in the dancing light of his pawn shop.
Yes, these are very, very good. Did you defraud some foreign...
No one was defrauded or jumped, I assure you.
Of course. I meant no offense.
Thank you. Here's the 130 real you need for your bill. Do not waste it.
The rest is for him, to compensate for the pain of being separated from...
Anything else you're thinking of selling? I'm not purchasing any more clothing at the moment. Anything else you're thinking of selling? Oh, no. I don't like those kinds of aphotic paths, counter-radiance networks, and...
You have absolutely no idea what aphotic paths are, but the tattoos on the man...
Another time, perhaps. Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question.
This is a pawn shop, and it did feel as if you've met before. The lieutenant shifts from one foot to another. Alert.
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service, and I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts, she didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive. Truth be told, she was terrifying.
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the citizens' militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it? Yeah, it's not good. I do hope we manage to clean this mess up somehow, while also keeping our focus on the murder investigation.
My apologies, officer, but I have no idea where she was coming from or where she went.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it now. You'll just have to hope you luck upon her somehow.
Of course. I doubt it, but I can try and answer it. I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of...
He doesn't know anything.
The corpse behind the hostel, I assume. I don't have a truck with a mounted platform. Ask around the harbour. There might be some workers there who'd be willing to...
The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
Greetings on this fine night. What brings you here? The pawn shop is always open.
Feeling warm and enthralled by the movement of light, while the mind continues to race forward, a drug developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness. It has psychedelic side effects, and it makes your eyes turn yellow.
I try to keep the shop at a comfortable temperature. I've had to take it, you know, since the People's Pile cleanup. I was with the Emergency Relief Brigade. A bad idea. Some poor leftist built a particle decay generator in hopes of bringing affordable...
The People's Pile was a Type U particle decay generator that failed immediately after entering service. releasing radioactive waste into River Esperant, a primitive nuclear reactor, also called a pile. Construction began during the Commune of Revachol. The people continued work on it after that. Needless to say, things didn't work out. An emergency valve defect resulted in steam pressure blowing the turbine, taking the fuel containment vessel up in the explosion. Both the faulty design and...
We were an all-volunteer force, self-organized. I lived by the river since I was a small boy. The Esperance. There wasn't much the volunteer force could do, however. We wasted years in the river mud. Years getting sick. There's a reason why everyone's tried to forget any of it ever happened. So much disappointment. An early death. No one's.
So much bitter.
A bunch of poor people built themselves a primitive nuclear reactor, hoping for the best. What do you think is going to... The cleanup happened 15 years ago. I was young, so I came to Martinez. People told me don't go there. It's a shithole. I said, people, we just had a nuclear pile meltdown. I'm gonna get as far away from Forberg as I can. I like the theory more than the story.
Yeah, you gotta get in on those vortices, my man.
You said you'd done it before, yeah?
The lieutenant steps away, pretending to admire some of... Go ahead then, he thinks. As long as you can walk straight, he won't be your nog. But he won't be thrilled about this either.
Here you go, man. Of course.
The boomboxes on the shelf look well-loved and well-traveled. Chipped. One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic. This is you. Gold and orange. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
Is the Harman Welshie W2. Made in Vespa. Designed in Seoul. Plays all reel-to-reel formats. 2mm, 8mm, 12mm. It's even got a little radio. Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech.
That's odd. Why doesn't he like music?
The stuff I record myself. Silverware shaking in drawers as motor...
Maybe you should ditch music as well. Get into these more...
If police work means playing tapes, sure. You can use it for that.
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among the sort.
Yes, officer.
His manner is casual, but his speech is careful, measured.
It was brought to me to...
We are not here to investigate the theft of city property. You have to admit it's rather clever what he's done with it.
700 real. A bargain, I dare say. The light has undergone 3 transformations, and every transformation...
The light has been removed and rewired. That's 2 transformations. But what a...
The most important transformation is the light's placement among ordinary, indoor fixtures, which has adjusted its morphological...
Okay, that checks out. You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest. Try to find something pretty and cool here. Then use it to win her back. Yes. Buy something nice. Big men on big horses, clad in lamella armor and carrying flintlocks.
Franco-Nigerian knights. I used to be very serious about...
A long, long time ago. Why? What's this? A headless man riding a horse? A headless man wearing...
Oh, that's the Headless Phone Rider. The Headless Phone Rider. It's an urban legend. About 50 cents. Bargain price. I'll throw in the tiny cap too. I think he's looking...
He lost his cap when he lost his head. Perhaps he's looking for the... They're not all blue. These figurines also wear gold coats and caps, complemented by orange trousers.
This is what the loyalists looked like, yes, at first. Then they wised up.
Which ones? Ah, those. Yes, they are. I find the paint job a bit gaudy, but...
This set of soldiers isn't meant to look impressive. A few have rifles, but most of them carry pistols.
You're probably talking about the revolutionaries, yes? I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win. Maybe. Did I mention that this figurine is supposed to be lucky? Always carry it with you.
Hey. Psst. Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building. You keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pockets. Literally murder all. Oh yes, the mask of ambivalence. Don't deny it. You're about to rip it off. Everyone can see that. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder? Or do we get right down to it? Failure. It's about failure. Yes, abject failure. Total, irreversible defeat on all fronts. Absolutely vanquished. You alone. Against every living thing. Against every human alive. 800 trillion real in the hands of you against the atom, the charm and the spin. Where the whole world failed. Matter failed to bend to human will. Now get to work, comrade. Very well. I guess no one will build communism then. Tell the working man it's over, unless no objections. It's mathematically impossible to achieve a classless society. Anyone? Anyone? There's no one. Okay then, lie down.
Can I help you? Yes, have you got it? Well? Great, thank you, officer. That's all I wanted. Payment for services rendered. If you continue to stay here, I just ask that you please pay your nightly bill in advance starting tomorrow. The electronic lock to your room has been disabled till 9 p.m. tomorrow. Please pay for each night in advance starting tomorrow. 20 real per night.
I'll take a room here too.
Of course. Always happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Anything else I can do for... Do I have a shaker in my hand? Is this a shaker?
It's not a shaker. It's nothing. He's holding nothing.
Am I wearing a little bow tie? Am I wearing a bow tie? Am I smiling? Do you see me smiling and shaking my little shake? That's right! I'm the cafeteria manager!
Play it calm. This man needs to understand You need a drink to help the community deal with police stuff.
Like what? Another thing. Great. Yes?